Alright, well, hello to you watching this video. I definitely want to speak about the topic on my mind today. I'm sure you guys already see it on the thumbnail, but essentially, what I want to talk about today is the words we use when speaking to each other and, making videos, for example, and posting them on YouTube. The words that we use and how it affects all of our consciousness and the how do I say it, like, yeah, just the effects that it has on all of us by the words that we choose to use. Okay, so really what sparked this idea in my mind is the fact that I keep seeing videos on YouTube about, people talking about civil war and how the US is going to break into civil war and, all these things. And yeah, as much as and just as I'm speaking of this, the words I'm about to say, they could also be bad words to use, but we'll get to that. I mean, yeah, it is definitely possible for the the US and really any country to break into civil war, but I think the beginning of that, like how you even lead up to that point of civil war, is the fact that the words that we're using against each other are just not the word we should be using against each other. You know, like as an example, just like with people now starting to talk about civil war, like just the idea of civil war and the thought that people are given that civil war is possible, that just completely affects people's minds, that affects people's conscious. And overall, I mean, obviously that's not a good thing. It's just like the stuff that you hear on the news, like obviously like that affects the way that you perceive the world. If you whatever, like, you guys know what I mean, like whatever you're listening to, that's or whatever you're looking at, that's gonna obviously affect the way you perceive the world. And if we have a bunch of news outlets and a bunch of social media influencers and all these things, all these people telling us that a civil war is essentially like inevitable, like, what do you think that's going to do to all of us? What do you think that's going to do to all of our consciousness? Well, it's going to make us expect that to come, right? Like, so many people, I know that it, like, this topic of civil war isn't a new topic. Like, I know it's been happening for decades, and obviously civil war has occurred multiple times already in the US. But like like I'm saying, just talking about it, bringing up the idea that it's possible is the beginning of it, you know? And I think people need to relax, first of all. People need to realize, we live in the greatest country to ever exist in the history of the world, you know, arguably. But for some reason, even people that are born in America, for some reason, they just want to see the downfall of their country, you know? For some reason, they don't appreciate and they're not grateful for everything that they have at their disposal. Being in the US, you can literally go outside and you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. Obviously, law abiding, but you can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can literally do whatever you want. And people, for some reason, want to give up that freedom. And that's the problem, really. People don't see the freedom that they truly have. People don't see how much our ancestors have fought for us to have this freedom, for us to do whatever we want, you know? And people just don't understand it. People don't know. People are not grateful, you know? When you're given everything, you you like neglect it. What's the word? You when you're given everything, you're just not um you're just not grateful for it. I don't know the word right now. You're just not like appreciative of what you have because you already have it, right? And you want more of who knows what. So, yeah, that's really the problem right now. People's people's minds are just really not in the right place, I'd say. Especially a lot of Americans, you know, and they just want to see the world collapse, and it's just so sad to see. And you know, it's really not their fault because kind of going back to my earlier point, like if you're just if all you see is evil in this world and all the bad things that happen on a day-to-day basis, and you just see the division that the news creates between us, like yeah, you're gonna be a divided person. You're gonna not think that your neighbor has any like similarities to you, right? Like they're just a complete stranger with both of you have nothing in common. And again, that's a problem. So I pro- I don't want to make this video too long. I just want to kind of get to the point. And essentially the point I'm trying to make is yeah, guys, like we have to be very careful and conscious with the words that we use with each other, okay? And obviously you can't obviously you just have to like kind of just let your voice just flow, right? Like obviously you don't have to be super aware of every single word that you're saying and like choose wisely the word you speak or else you're gonna like doom society. Like no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like just be conscious of what you're saying, you know? Be aware that words are very, very, very powerful, that we can't even imagine how powerful they really are. Like I can't even imagine how powerful they really are, even though I know this fact. Just one word can change everything, you know? Like in any scenario, no matter what it is, one word can change the whole scenario. You know, it can change the whole scene. Like, for example, if I just scream the F word in the middle of a movie theater, or I don't even know, in the middle of whatever, like something kind of private or whatever, if I just scream the F word, if I just start swearing out loud, one word, right? That's going to change the entire scene, the entire vibe of the place. You know what I mean? So imagine all these words that we hear every single day, all these negative words that the news and social media feeds us every single day. Imagine what those words are doing to our consciousness, guys. We have to be very aware of that and understand that, you know, first of all, don't take every word so seriously and don't take everything that people say so seriously. Because as we all know, there is an agenda, obviously, but it's also like, you know, speak, guys, speak to each other, speak your mind, speak what you're saying, you know. And that's really the biggest reason like I want to make these videos, because like I've said in my previous video, I think it is super important for all of us to speak, for all of us to give our opinions, to give our point of views, so we can all just improve, you know, just so we can all understand each other better, so we can all see that we are all truly one, and we all have relatively the same motives. Obviously everyone has different desires, I've mentioned this, but everyone wants the same thing, guys. Everyone wants happiness. Everyone wants peace in their life. And using words is a massive part of that. And accepting the words that you're hearing are a massive part of that, or rejecting them. So, yeah, I hope you guys understand the point I'm trying to make. Um, Obviously, there's a bunch of other things I want to say, but you know, we can talk about that in another video. But yeah, essentially, just be conscious of the fact that words affect your consciousness. All right, and use your words wisely. Don't just say stuff to don't just say stuff to say stuff. All right, like sometimes there really is no need to talk. Silence sometimes has way more power than any word could ever have. And sometimes silence is the best thing you could do because it makes people think about what they're even saying, you know? Like me personally, if people start saying nonsense to me or whatever, just stuff that I don't agree with personally, um, or stuff that I just don't want to argue about or talk about just because it just seems pointless to me, it seems meaningless. Like really, I just stay quiet, guys. Like I just stay quiet and if the person is trying to, especially if the person is trying to argue with me about something, like I really just stay quiet and I let them ponder and I let them think about what they're saying, you know? And I mean, yeah, this happens to me too. People, sometimes I could say some nonsense and then I look back and I'm like, wow, that made absolutely no sense. Like, that was, not smart. So, yeah, I mean, just think about the words you use, think about the words you say. um because yeah, guys, words are incredibly powerful. Words affect the way we see life, and words influence people in so many ways. And if we keep saying that we're gonna go into civil war, then what do you think is gonna happen? Everyone is gonna think that we're headed to civil war. And if everyone is thinking that, then guess what's gonna happen, guys? Okay? So that's really the point I'm trying to make here. All right? So thank you for listening to me. Thank you for watching this video. And I will see you in my next video. Have a good day. Bye.